Well, we interviewed Mo Gangat, a lawyer who comes in and weighs in on various legal cases that are happening right now. And according to him, he thinks that if this case was in New York, it would be dismissed.
If they were up here in New York in federal court, they would move in and move to dismiss and say, Judge, read this indictment. Tell me what this guy did that has him facing 5 to 20 with no bond.
Might be. Especially since there's New York juries are very, very different from Atlanta juries. The case law is different and the rules of evidence are different. And a lot of the things that the prosecution is putting into this case around rap lyrics and Instagram posts and people with pictures throwing up gang signs would not be admissible in a New York court. I think he's probably on point there. I'm not a lawyer, so bear with me. I'm just a guy who's been writing about, politics and crime for a long time. But there's Georgia's gang law is unique. Georgia's gang law is fundamentally different than gang law and RICO law in other states because of what it lets you introduce into evidence. And so you get lyrics and you get Instagram posts. And there are other states where you could do that, but not really the way you could do it here in Georgia. Fonnie Willis is trying to validate the law here in some ways. Like she's deliberately putting this stuff in there, like knowing it's going to be tested and challenged. And maybe it gets thrown out. I don't know. But she's pushing it to see what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, there was these rumors that was floating around, and I don't know whether they're real rumors or fake rumors. They sounded somewhat fake, but there was this fake, real or unreal rumor that Lil Baby's, crew, 4PF, Four Pockets Full,
yeah,
were possibly facing RICO indictments, and people were tweeting this to Lil Baby, and he responded, "Only God could judge me."
Right, or 12 jurors, but. Where do I put this? Because everybody's talking about who's going to be the next RICO. We just saw the next RICO that just came out, and that was
and I want to get into that because the Atlanta DA announced there's going to be more high-profile RICO cases coming in the next 60 days.
Yeah,
and the first one to actually be announced was Atlanta's Drug Rich gang.
Right, and they rap. Some of them rap, like the high profile one is Drug Rich Hecht, who ironically lives less than a mile from me. I live in DeKalb County. This is a DeKalb County gang that got busted by the Fulton County District Attorney, in part because the gang was allegedly knocking off houses of very rich people in North Fulton. There was a football player, there was a soccer player, there was a reality television star, there was an Instagram influencer, and in one case there was a home invasion where they held people kidnapped basically for a while they were ransacking the house. And I get why they would do that there because you go where the money is. My neighborhood, not a lot of money. But they're also facing indictments in DeKalb County and Gwinnett County and probably someplace else as well. They're also rappers. There are a couple of rappers in there. There's Drug Rich, I think Bino, Drug Rich Hecht. There's a Miko Worldwide YouTube video that showed this gang at a convenience store up the street from where I live. And it's funny because that video came out 3 weeks later, there's a massive indictment and a bunch of them are in jail. So that's one. But that's nobody who's rapping in that group is breaking the top 40, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
People are looking at Lil Baby and 4PF because they're high profile. It's just Like, who do I know? I know this one. So surely this is the one that's going to be next. And that's not how this works. The Fulton County District Attorney is looking to reduce violence. Like, she has said that directly to me and said that in public. The purpose behind all of this is to lower Atlanta's sky-high, murder rate. The murder rate today is something like 80% higher than it was in 2019. And it's part of the reason her predecessor got thrown out. A lot of those murders, and she will say a number that is exaggerated, but a lot of those murders are gang-related. And so that looks like the easiest way to directly hit the murder rate is to go and round up gangsters who are killing people. And that's the important part. Like, she's not just, oh, well, you're dealing drugs. I don't care. Like, is your gang involved with people who are killing people? And there are a couple of gangs that I have my eyes on where I think that fits the bill and where I think people should worry, like if you happen to be members of this gang. The Play for Keeps, PFK. This is a street gang in Atlanta. There are rappers who are tangentially sort of connected to them. There was a killing about 3 months ago of a kid. It's a 14, 15-year-old Nigerian-American kid, Joshua Adetunji. His mother has left the country since. These were kids killing other kids. These were teenagers shooting at each other at the Atlanta fairgrounds. Like one kid is walking through and he's got a gun and he's saying, I'm going to shoot people. And another kid who is a member of a crew called the Play for Keeps Killers gets into a gunfight with them, and Adetunji gets killed in the gunfight. I don't think Adetunji was a gang member. He could have been, but I don't think so. Like, by all descriptions, he was just caught in the crossfire. That sort of thing, if you're the district attorney, you go, I got to shut that down. Because when one person gets killed, it creates this whole wave of anger and resentment and desire for revenge, and then they start shooting up someone else, and then they get pissed off, and suddenly it's a war, and she wants to stop the wars. Like this whole thing with YSL and YFN, there were 40 drive-bys that emerged in the 3 months after Donovan Thomas was killed, and other people were killed in those drive-bys. Willis is like deliberately looking for situations like that she can stop before they start.